Manchester United showed deadly football without a steering wheel on the brow. The Devils took out Leicester, and Casemiro finally played the football for which he was signed. Real Madrid went to Union of European Football Associations, and now the stars of football, and not only gave an answer to the leaky club. Wild transfer of Barcelona and valid victories of Liverpool over Brighton and Tottenham and over Manchester City. We discuss this and more today. Friends, on the line is Dose of Football, and a hot selection of the most interesting news to this hour. Charge your royal likes so we can continue to work without weekends. Well, I wish you a pleasant appetite and a pleasant viewing. Chelsea will never find stability in defense. The Penguins invest heavily in their defense center annually, but struggle to determine the ideal connection type needed. They understand their need for a connection, similar to what existed with Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen. But where to get it? This season, the Blues have only 4 clean sheets against Barrow, West Ham, Bournemouth, and Servette. A little more resistance, it immediately gives weakness. The strong start of the season is thanks to the forwards, whose performance is top-notch. EC and Fofana, bought for €80 million, are playing steadily in the main lineup. But Benoit Badiashile and Axel Disasi have hardly appeared on the field this season. Before the draw, it was reported that Maresco does not trust them. The matter never reached the point of sale. Probably Chelsea just couldn't find a buyer. The Blues are planning to acquire a new center back, and a top-level one at that. We need a wall that will protect the goalkeeper. And the question of who should be at the base. Because Tosin Adarabioyo being signed as a free agent is somehow not serious. A decent rotation defender, but nothing more. Reports suggest they're targeting Manchester City's Ruben Dias, willing to pay over $80 million. He's worth it, stable at the back, rarely makes mistakes, and has a top-level pass, crucial for football. Almost anyone from Manchester City would fit, as the teams have similar styles. Maresco, Guardiola's student, would be an excellent investment. It would definitely have been better to give $80 million for him, rather than for a flop with his history of knee injuries. But now you can't return the wasted, alas. Not sure that Ruben will agree to the transfer. What's the motivation personally for him? Man City is stable, consistently winning trophies every year, and this is likely to continue even after Guardiola's departure. But will Kubica have any at Cini in the coming years? This is an open question. After the departure of Sir Alex Ferguson, Manchester United ceased to be a threat in the Premier League and became one of football's main laughingstocks. The leadership of the Red Devils constantly makes decisions that become the subject of memes. Of course, it's not just about the transfer market. Although the purchases of Anthony, Casemiro, and Maguire will be remembered by the Red Devils for a long time. Frankie de Jong could have joined the club instead of Kaze. MU quickly changed their preferences in their search for support after being refused by the footballer, unexpectedly targeting a completely different type of player. He edited a video to convince de Jong to join the club in 2022 year. The Mancunians shot several videos at once with the participation of legends. The club decided that this motivates the Dutchman to leave Barcelona. But de Jong ignored the MU leadership, not even watching the video or responding at all. Now this story has surfaced, and Frankie's path in MU is ordered. Let there be rumors that Devils are still interested in defenders. The story hits Manchester United's reputation, as well as Jadon Sancho's behavior. No, MU seemed to act appropriately, removing the Englishman from training and then sending him on loan to Borussia Dortmund. But according to information during the first semi-final match of the Champions League against Passage, representatives of Manchester United sent a message to a pair of well-known experts asking them to stop discussing Sancho's contribution to Borussia's game. MU, thought that this harms the club's image. To some extent they are right, because they laughed at United, saying, "Look, Sancho turned out to be unnecessary for MU, and this is what he does in the game with Paris Saint-Germain." But these are just not very thoughtful comments on the net. In the end, Borussia sent Jadon away, not because of bad play and lack of talent, but because of laziness and public accusation of the coach in lies. Should United be concerned about such social media comments? Of course, no. But not to praise their own players, stupid. At the end of the day, MU did a favor by raising Jadon's price, which allowed him to be sold to Chelsea at a higher price. Real Madrid accused Union of European Football Associations of not giving Vinicius the golden ball. Union of European Football Associations. His leadership put pressure on France football to take away the deserved award from Vinny. From the point of view of the insiders, either the French newspaper demanded to vote correctly from the polled journalists, or it falsified the elections. Union of European Football Association's president Alexander Chefrin denies all allegations. Relevo quoted the words of one of the high-ranking officials from the organization. If they claim something like that, it says everything about them. And it doesn't warrant further comments from our side. La Liga president Javier Tebas, who, by the way, is a Real Madrid fan, also criticized the behavior of the Royal Club. Victimization is inappropriate and exaggerated. It was necessary to come to the ceremony. The club lost gentlemanly values at some point. Tebas also disapproved of the Madridians' conduct, much like Aragorn. Actor Viggo Mortensen, also known for his roles in The Green Book and The Road, stated, "In reality, upon learning that their chosen boy doesn't win the golden ball, and seeing that the boy was upset and distressed, they said they were disrespected. I'm a real fan, but I think if the club is not respected to a sufficient extent, it's the club's fault due to stupidity, unsportsmanlike, and arrogant behavior." I always say, forward Madrid, but I'm very ashamed. While everyone discusses Madrid's behavior, the team chose not to comment on the award. According to AES, the Madrid grant adopted a law of silence regarding the Golden Ball. No one should talk about the prize or ceremony, as the club intends to completely ignore this topic. When it comes to Z, people often resort to using only a few general phrases. The same publication writes that ZM in no way reflected on Slavok's plans to buy Rodri next summer. Well, at least playing for Real Madrid, he definitely won't take the golden ball away from Vinicius. Or not? Rafael Leao was one of Barcelona's targets in the past transfer window. Yes, but the club had a hole in the defense. But sporting director Deco and Laporta decided that it was more important to buy a new winger. Nobody expected that Rafinha would flourish so much at the half flip. That's why the wingers studied the oncoming left flank. Leao ended up on the list next to Nick Williams. Nick was a priority due to his familiarity with La Liga and experience in Europe. This was crucial for Barcelona's management as they tried to maximize the hype surrounding it. They failed to reach an agreement with Nick. Barcelona bosses say Williams first wanted the transfer but suddenly changed his mind. Likely due to his brother Inaki's influence, who is extremely loyal to Athletic Bilbao, Nick changed his mind. Barcelona's reaction to this turnaround is unknown, and they might abandon the idea of buying him. Especially since Leao, Nick's competitor on their shortlist, will be available at a discount if he doesn't reconcile with Paulo Fonseca. Fonseca, a proponent of systematic football, demands full dedication and teamwork from players at all stages. However, Leao neglects pressing and defense, for which Stefano Pioli scolded him. Fonseca stated that he has no problems with the footballer. I don't want to go into details. All I can say is that I have an individual approach to each player. There is no conflict between us, but reliable Italian media are talking about a reversal. If the boss can't find a common language with the famous Earthling, then Milan will consider the option of selling Leo. Nobody wants to hold such a valuable asset on the bench. According to reports, Barcelona is closely monitoring the situation. Such a strange choice. Anti-Flick demands colossal and voluminous work from his players without the ball. I don't think Laporta and Deco consulted with the German about Rafael. Moreover, why does Barca need such a star player on the left flank of the attack at all? They will have to give up more than 70 million euros for him. It's stupid to keep him on the bench. But with the current Rafinha, Flick will have no choice. Hard times have come for Real Madrid. Poor form, lack of balance, Mbappe's Swedish scandal, as well as the crushing defeat of Val Clasico, and also Rodri's golden ball. But the savvy ones can overcome crises and level their form by mid-season. Last time, when Madrid lost to Barcelona with a score of 0-4, they eventually took both La Liga and the Champions League. But to come out of complicated situations with your head held high, you need to make the right decision. First and foremost, figure out the reason for this weak play. And it's obvious, the lack of balance. I'm already tired of asserting this every episode, but it is what it is. Carlo Ancelotti is trying to make Real's game a bit more systematic, but so far it's not working out because of the excessive star attack. It seems like Mbappe is coming. Despite everything, Kylian has not yet adapted to playing against the opposition's 9. Real's leadership is divided on signing Mbappe, with some viewing it as a mistake that could hinder the team. And they probably won't sell the Frenchman to Liverpool, who are ready to pay 150 million euros for Kylian. But according to Todd Fachai's information, it's more likely that Vinicius will leave Madrid, not Mbappe. Florentino Perez is fully confident in Donatello. He believes Mbappe will become the team's leader and main star in the future. Of course, the president is warmly related to Vinny. But the publication asserts that when choosing between the Brazilian and the Frenchman, Perez will bet on the European, which, by the way, is related to the complex character of Vinicius, who likes to get involved in disputes with fans. Honestly, I don't quite understand such a decision by Perez. Ultimately, Vinicius is already a Madrid boy. The fans just adore him, so much so that they defend his golden ball in the comments under the posts of Rodrigo de Paul, Georgina Rodriguez, and singer Olivia Rodrigo. Since Rodri doesn't use social media, not everyone will understand if Real gets rid of not Mape, but Vinicius for the sake of balance. Anyway, I think Carlo's dad will just find a way to fit both footballers in. If anyone can do it, it's only him. Neymar has recovered from a cruciate ligament injury, but he won't be playing for Al Hilal in the upcoming matches in the Saudi Arabian Championship anytime soon. The thing is, there's a limit on the number of foreign players in the league. Al Hilal didn't include Neymar in the squad due to injury. Now, the club can only do this in the winter transfer window. As a result, Ney will only play in the Asian Champions League until January. Neymar will not play for the national team until 2500. According to Globo, the attacking player requested the Brazilian Football Confederation not to select him for the national team's final matches this year. He will miss the meetings with Venezuela and Uruguay, but will be ready for the crucial World Cup qualifying matches against Argentina and Colombia in March. Meanwhile, Neymar plans his future. The Brazilian's Al Hilal contract expires after this season, and he won't renew it. Rumors suggested Neymar was planning to return to Santos, but he may have changed his mind. As Neymar wrote, he bought a plot of land on the ocean front in the Bell Harbor area around Miami-Dade, Florida. By the way, that's where Dexter's house is located. I took some photos there for my Instagram. I hope you've already subscribed. And it cost Neymar $15 million. Now he's planning to build a house there with an area of 4,000 square meters. Doesn't this speak of the upcoming transfer of the Brazilian to Inter Miami? Ney himself has expressed his dream of reuniting with Messi. And Leo once shared that he, Neymar, and Suarez wouldn't mind ending their careers in the same club. Santos is dear to Neymar, but Suarez and Messi are even dearer to him. No one is preventing the 32-year-old Brazilian from eventually returning to Santos, but the chance to play with Luis and Lionel will no longer be available. El Pistolero is about to hang up his boots due to knee problems, and Messi has already announced that Inter Miami will be the last club in his career. In general, we are waiting for the reunion of the legendary trio. Ruben Amorim is about to take over Manchester United. The negotiations to sign the coach were tough, of course. Sporting didn't want to let go of the coach, who brought gold last season amidst the draw. Sporting won all its matches in the Sagres League this year and is heading for a new trophy. But what will happen after the coach leaves is completely unclear. Sam Amorim urges journalists not to rush to conclusions. Manchester United is interested, but it's my decision. Until everything is decided, we will not create noise. I have nothing to say. I take the job I want. I've always done it that way. According to journalist Cave Savacola, Sporting wants Amorim to stay at the club for another 30 days. That's how long his contract can operate in Portugal after the payment of arrears. Meanwhile, Amorim is already thinking about the Manchester United squad and how it will have to be reformed. According to reports, the coach has already decided to let go of 4 players. Christian Eriksen and Victor Lindelof did not impress the coach. Their contracts are valid until the season's end, and Ruben will request management not to renew them. Amorim also considers Casemiro and Anthony to be the weak spots of the team, and he informed the club about it. The management shares the same opinion and will be happy to get rid of them, including because of the high salaries. The problem is that it's hard to find buyers for them. Who needs an aging Kaza who can't get back in defense in time and makes mistakes positionally, while passing has never been his strong suit, except maybe to the Sheikhs? But last summer, Neymar either refused to move to Saudi Arabia himself, or the Middle Eastern club decided they didn't need him. The situation with Anthony is similar, only considering that he is younger. There is some unclear interest from a couple of teams, but it is more likely that he will have to be loaned out. And if he's lucky and he plays well somewhere, then United may be able to count on some plus-minus interesting money from his sale. Ruben Amorim has upset Sporting players with his readiness to move to Manchester. After all, the coach has said so many times that after the failed summer transfer to Liverpool, he no longer thinks about other teams and plans to win the next championship with Sporting. And then, just like that, he got the idea to go to Manchester United as soon as the offer came in. According to Ebola, Lisbon players are nearly depressed over the coach's exit. Firstly, the team was stable with Amorim. With him, Sporting always fought for trophies. No one knows what will happen to the club after the coach leaves. Players are suffering due to their careers. Amorim had amazing prospects. Many players were interested in European top clubs. And if Sporting fails without Amorim, then the promised transfers may not happen. Many have grown attached to the coaches. Everyone in the team liked Amorim, and he never had conflicts with anyone. He knew how to approach anyone. Ruben's exit also benefits Sporting players. After all, the new United coach will almost certainly want to sign someone from his former team. As Tim Tolcom reports, Amorim has already told MU management that he would like to buy a few familiar players. Centre-back Gonzalo Inacio and wingers Marcus Edwards and Pedro Gonçalves. Inacio was on the radars of United and Duo Marima, so it's almost certain that the Red Devils will go for him. The winger situation differs slightly. I think a lot will depend on whether they manage to snatch Antony in the winter transfer window. According to journalist and Cream Kanura, MU is also trying to buy Victor Gyökeres. Meanwhile, Kanur notes that the forward has already definitely decided to leave the team in the winter transfer window. Sporting will ask for about 60 million euros for him. Schwed is not comfortable in the Portuguese league. Yes, and in the games for the national team, they pull no less. A solid player, but does United need him? Where are Rasmus Haaland and Joshua Zirkzee going? There's definitely not enough playing time for everyone. Liverpool retained all its leaders after Jurgen Klopp's departure, including Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. The team became a bit boring in the slot, but more technical. The reliability at the back has increased, but the attack is still impressive as before. Few expected such a confident start from the scouts as they have shown. Probably, even the players themselves did not expect that everything would go so smoothly. Now it seems that Liverpool even has a chance to fight for the title. And all this in the debut season of Arne Slot. Alexander-Arnold said that the trophy is the main thing in his career, and he will make decisions about the future based on Liverpool's prospects. Well, and apparently teams that are vying for him. According to the data, Trent made a choice not in favor of the Reds, and has rejected numerous Liverpool contract extension offers. He wants to try himself in another club. As I mentioned before, one shouldn't blindly trust Spanish press insiders regarding the Trent situation. However, when it comes to the majority of refusals, they are right. This is confirmed by the English media as well. But I don't think Trent will make a final decision before the end of the season. Most likely it's the cubes or their absence that will ultimately help the defender decide. That's why I really hope Liverpool will win a major trophy this season. According to Florian Plattenberg, Virgil van Dijk still doesn't know whether he will sign a new contract. Scouser is still the main option for the center-back, but a couple of European giants have shown interest in the footballer, and he noticed it. And now in heavy thoughts, on one hand, his beloved Liverpool, where he is the captain. On the other hand, the opportunity to test himself in new conditions, outside his comfort zone. I imagine how hard it will be with Scouser if in the end Ivan Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold leave as free agents. Even the brilliant Michael Edwards can't simply patch these holes. Manchester United has transformed in a miraculous way after the departure of Erik ten Hag. In the first match, Ruud van Nistelrooy, the Red Devil, knocked Leicester out of the League Cup. Yes, the Foxes are not the strongest team, but MU scored 5 goals, with Casemiro making a double. And it's okay that he scored twice. The Brazilian also played all over the field. Not only did he play, but he also managed to be everywhere. It was not a match, but a complete surprise. By the way, you must appreciate Casa's first goal. The cannon is scary in the 9th because of the penalty limits. I threw reviews of all the top matches of yesterday into our Telegram. Follow the link in the description and in the pinned comment. And it's a pity that we probably won't see Ruud van Nistelrooy in the Manchester United lineup anymore. In the next match, Ruben Amorim and Nistelrooy will lead the team, as per the MU boss's plan. Rumor has it he doesn't even plan to work in Amorim's coaching staff, including to prove that he came to United not to take the head coach's place after Ten Hag's dismissal. Chelsea was knocked out of the League Cup yesterday, losing 0-2 to Newcastle United. Both goals, fierce defensive mistakes on level ground. The second team came out for the match, which is generally understandable. Maresco puts the best fighters in the championship, and in the Conference League and Cups, he is not afraid to let the rest play. Even Benu Chilulo, Liverpool dealt with Brighton, but not without nerves. Victory with a score of 3-2. And both goals were missed by the Reds after the 80th minute. Cody Gakpo was pleased. First of all, I note the excellent passes. Secondly, what dives he has after all. A player like Leandro Trossard will bypass the corner altogether, ignore the non-working leg, and the distance to the gate. Can score from anywhere on the field. Gaga twice cocked his gun. Both banks are well known, particularly the first. Slota anticipates a pleasant headache. Gakpo and Diaz are contending for the role of the left winger. And each of them is in excellent form right now. Switching to German football, Bavaria met Mainz in the cup. And the meeting was notable for Jamal Musiala's trick. One time was enough. Short plays with technique, class, and perfect execution. Unlike Sane and Gnabry, who were just messing around yesterday. In the case of halfback's second goal, it seems there was an offside. But they still counted the goal. In the early stages of the German Cup, they don't use video assistant referee, and the referees have completely learned to do without technology. There are no such problems in the English League Cup, but there was no need to complain about the refereeing in the Tottenham and Manchester City match. They performed excellently, as did Tottenham. The Spurs outplayed the Citizens again. The score's 2-1. Probably the most unpleasant opponent for the Citizens, even with Liverpool or Arsenal. And that's easier, especially if the Citizens agree on nothing. London's victory could have been even more certain if it weren't for Tim Werner. On one hand, it was the German who opened the score. On the other hand, his misses squandered many dangerous attacks. Overall, the match turned out to be a sad one. Tottenham lost the incredibly important Mickey van de Ven for the team and Werner. And City is now without Xavi, and for a long time. The Brazilian was carried off the field in tears. So, friends, at least take care of yourselves. And who will be watching our content? Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel. I remind you that Now Dose of Football is also available in radio format. Listen to us at the link in the description. Well, my name is Kirill Cast, and that was your daily dose of football. Peace to your house and Johanga, friends.